Welcome to the Monique Guiled Method Show, where business meets science and intuition on WGSO 990 AM and streaming live on WGSO.com. Monique Guild's unique technique leverages her cutting-edge and no-nonsense approach to evaluate you, your business, and your projects, to see and pinpoint blocks, and as a futurist, she has the know-how to catapult your business to the next level. So call in with your questions to 504-556-9696. And now, here's the host, Monique Guiled.
Hello and welcome here to the Monique Guiled Method Radio Show. I am so excited you are joining me here today. I am Monique Guiled, your host. Yesterday I found out, I was like, gosh, I was talking to my producer, I was like, I'm wondering if people are listening, if I'm getting through to people, or people, aware of this new kind of way of looking at businesses and your personal life and how to get unstuck and move forward. And I found out the numbers are really great. And I'm so happy that this material is making an impact on your life. And, I just believe people, when they are fulfilled in their both personal and, of course, professional lives, that we can change the world. I think so much goes down in this world because people cause so much distraction, so much chaos in their own lives because they are not fulfilled both personally and professionally. And I always say it's the personal stuff that gets the business stuff blocked. And in fact, it's my tagline on my book that'll be coming out by the end of this year for sure. But I really, really believe that. And today's topic is never lose that childlike quality of adventure. You're only given a little spark of madness. You mustn't lose it. And Robin Williams, the great comedian, said that. And I love, love, love that quote. Never lose that childlike quality of adventure. You're only given a little spark of madness, and you mustn't lose it. And I think it's so important to really honor that spark of madness in us. I really do. I think it's so important to hear it, to follow it, no matter what anyone says to you or how people think you might be crazy or what are you thinking of or, oh, no one's ever done anything like that before. Have you ever heard people say that to you? Oh, no one does that, or who does that? Well, good. I'm saying good. I'm glad no one's done it. Let's be the first, right? So if you've come to this show and you'd like to get answers to questions, and if you ever asked yourself, how far can my business go? What are my true strengths? What should I really be doing in my career? Why do I feel so stuck? That could be both professionally and personally. And what is my next step? Like, how do I get beyond where I am right now in the circumstances that I find myself in? And this is where you can call in to 504-556-96, and we can discuss some of this stuff. And what makes me the person that has the know-how to be able to help you is I'm a business intuitive. Now, what the heck does that mean? I'm a person who has an extensive business background, first of all. You can go to my website, MoniqueGuiled.com, MoniqueGuild.com. You will see endorsements from people at the World Economic Forum in Geneva, to Central American leaders, and I'm not telling this to you to brag in any type of way. I'm telling you because I know business. I've always known it. I've always had a sixth sense for it. However, what enables me to help you is that I do have an inherited ability. And it is what it is. I just, it's one of those things that the universe or God or whoever gave it to me that I came in with. And just from hearing somebody's voice, I'm able to know what's caused them to get stuck personally and what causes the business, therefore, to get stuck professionally on an atomic and molecular level. And I know exactly what to do to turn it around. You don't have to take my word for it. Go and read the endorsements on the site. So that's why I love to have people call in. I love to talk to you. I love to, hear what's going on with you and also help you too. And it only takes me a few minutes to really kind of get down to the nitty-gritty and what needs to be done. So again, 504-556-9696. And so going on with this topic today, and I always say too, this is one of my quotes, it's in your vulnerability when you are most human, you may begin to let the light in. When you cover up or hide in any way, you absolutely put a darkness over yourself that one day may be irreparable. And I believe sometimes when we continue to cover up and hide who we are as individuals and what our dreams and gifts are and things that we love, no matter how crazy it is. I mean, look again, and I bring Elon Musk up quite a bit, because here's a person who has no formal education at all in building a rocket or in with cars, manufacturing. But yet he studied books, he read books, and he educated himself in his own way. And I mean, how many people laughed at him and thought he was crazy? Like, who are you to go and create a spaceship? Not spaceship, maybe that too one day. A rocket. Like, who are you to do that? And this guy did not listen to the naysayers. He had a burning desire so deep inside of him, that little spark of madness that he had, and he went for it. Now, if he had covered all that up, not only would we have lost as a world, but I can only imagine the insanity and the darkness that would have caused within himself. So I think it's really important to honor that spark of madness, those dreams, those gifts that you have. The clients that come to me are people who, they may be working in a position that is really, like, globally really impressive, but if you are unfulfilled and you have this darkness inside of you and you feel like you are not living up to your potential and you feel you're hiding yourself or you have to put on a front, I mean, to me, there's no worse feeling, because you're not really living. Your cells aren't vibrating at the maximum capacity where they just feel, where you feel so fulfilled and you're on a learning curve and you're excited about the next step in your life. So it's really important to hear that voice, move forward, take baby steps, whatever you have to do. Now, there are also two other quotes I really love from Robin Williams that caused me to stop and really reflect. Okay, so there was still in the background this voice like, psst, he told the newspaper. So when I relapsed, I went back hard. The one thing I hadn't dealt with was, how honest do you want to live? So again, there was a still in the background, this little voice that was like, psst, he told the newspaper. So when I relapsed, I went back hard. The one thing I hadn't dealt with was, how honest do you want to live? And that is such an important question. So we're going to go to commercial break here in a minute, but start contemplating these things. Start thinking about, what's that little spark of madness in you? What is it that you love in your life that you haven't honored yet? And if you want to call me here, 504-556-9696. This is Monique Guild here at the Monique Guild Method Radio Show. And I'm looking forward to taking your calls and speaking to you more about that little spark of madness, what may have had you stuck or blocked in business in your life, and what can we do to rectify it and resurrect it. This is Monique Guild, WGSO 990 AM.
This is Monique Guild, host of the Monique Guild Method. I will be taking callers Wednesdays at noon on WGSO 990 AM. And I want to help you unblock your business issues, turn around, and develop what's next.
Hello. Welcome back to the Monique Guild Method Radio Show. I love that song, Katrina and the Waves. So welcome back here. We're talking about never lose that childlike quality of adventure. You're only given a little spark of madness. You mustn't lose it. It's a quote by Robin Williams I absolutely love. And I want to encourage you to honor that spark. No matter how small, how large, how, just start taking a step forward. I promise you it's going to start. There's something about it. It's, there's a saying, right action leads to right thinking. We cannot think our way into right action. We have to act our way into right thinking. So right action leads to right thinking. We cannot act our way into right thinking. Sometimes we have to, we can act our way into right thinking. We can't sit there and think and think and think. What happens is we start contemplating, thinking, and what if I take this, and what if, and this and that. And the science behind that, all that thinking, just as a side note real quick, it's your body getting chemical hits. And if you go back and listen to my previous shows, you can go to the website, WGSO, or you can go to the Monique Guile Method radio show website, and you'll hear all the previous radio shows where I talk about the chemicals. So that chemical, your body's craving the chemicals from that whole process, and that's why it's so important to step out in action. Take the action anyway and see how you feel after you start taking the action towards your gifts and talents and dreams and that little spark of madness that you've had and that childlike quality. Like, what brings you back to feeling like a kid again? What is that? I'm asking you to take an action today, even if it's a baby step. And you can email me, Monique at Monique Guiled, like Guild, GUILD.com. Let me know what you did today to take that baby step towards you, what you love to do, or that thing that just makes you feel alive and feel like a kid again. I could go down that rabbit hole, but I won't at this very moment because I want to stay on topic here. So, The Fisher King is one of my most favorite films that Robin Williams was in. I so identified with the character Radio Man that Robin Williams played. I identify it in so many ways. I've had that photo of him in The Fisher King when he was portraying this character. He was running through the streets, and I've had this on my wall for years to remind me to be free and to live out loud, even though others may think I'm kooky. And you will know if there's a desire that you have that is still unfulfilled by the knocking on your soul. Did you get that? You're going to know that there's a desire that you still have that is still unfulfilled by the knocking on your soul. You feel it inside of you, that your gut, your inside self hears that, feels it. And I'm telling you right now, you must go for it. I don't care what it is, what little step you take towards it, because it is going to give you a feeling, a spark that is going to fuel the rest of the sparks and actions to come. And even if you feel like it's too late, or you've missed the boat, or you don't know enough, you will know if there is an experience that has yet to come to fruition by the number of distractions you've had in your life just this past few months of this new year. Like, what are those distractions? Are you getting distracted by, let's say, the media and politics and vaccines and what your neighbor said or what your family's doing? How much ticker tape time in your brain, how much ticker tape chatter in your brain are things like that taking up? Are you thinking more about all the state of the affairs in the world? Are you thinking about that more, or are you contemplating and honoring that little spark of madness within yourself? What are you giving more energy to? Something to become really, really seriously aware. And the good news is, if you have a lot of distractions going on, if you are totally complaining about political and who's president and who's this and who's that and what they're doing and, oh, did you see this on the news? You know what? Let me tell you this. I teach this workshop called the Intuitive Goal Workshop. I've taught it for over 20 years. And we go on a mental diet, a media mental diet for the entire time, the 8 weeks that this workshop runs. And I ask everyone to not look at any news or read the papers or any of that stuff. And heck, now with social media, oh my God, talk about a drain. I just can't even. Not only does social media change our brains in so many ways and control us in so many ways, but we're putting all those pictures in the frontal lobe of our brain, and that's getting registered by the lower cerebellum, and you will attract what you've got in your own life, into your own life, what you keep saying over and over again, or what you keep speaking about. And all this just becomes a distraction and a chemical craving that your body wants more of the chemicals, so you keep doing it more and more and more. So these distractions is only because your body is running the show, and you want to say, stop it. No, you're not going to run the show. I'm going to run the show. You take over, follow what your inside self is guiding you to do, and start taking those actions. And those actions are so powerful, it will fuel you to the next step. But it's being willing to let go and step into the unknown. Oftentimes what keeps people in distractions or so stuck is because they are afraid of the unknown. The unknown is more fearful than taking, so that people would rather stay in those distractions. It's so scary. I think that's one of the biggest fears. I think that people who have put a lid on their light cause these distractions internally and externally, and in ways that either through relationships, through disease, through illness. I just had a personal hiccup myself over the last month where I didn't look at distractions I was getting distracted by in family stuff, and I really paid a price for it. And it's all about, bottom line is, I need to finish my book. I haven't finished it, and it's sitting there. I mean, it's done, but we need to do the final read-through, and it's scary to put something like that out there. But it's more scary to not do it. So anyway, take a look at those distractions in your life. What has you distracted? And you'll know, the good news is those distractions and how big they are is going to tell you how big your gift is on the other side. This I know to be 100% true. So take a look at those distractions, the internal and external, and the more significant the experience in those distractions is as big as the experience is, that little spark of madness that's pounding inside of you, that's going to come out and leap out into the world, and you're going to contribute in some amazing way. So what is it that needs to come leaping out and experienced now that you may have been ignoring due to being distracted? And let me ask you something. Are you willing to get that ball rolling? I would say today. Why put it off? You put it off long enough already. Why don't you start getting that ball rolling today? And check in with me, Monique at MoniqueGuile.com, or call my office, 310-614-0946. I mean it. Call my office, leave me a message, and I will call you back, I promise. And we can talk about it. Or you can call me here, 504-556-9696. But what small, bite-sized step can you take today or by Friday latest to get that ball rolling? Because as a result of that knocking from your soul, your inside self, it is pushing you to heal whatever you need to improve and step into the full expression of you. That gift, that spark of madness is going to force you to heal whatever needs to be healed, whatever that may be. If your distraction may be, heck, media, reading the newspapers, or complaining, or it could be as great as some sort of addiction you may have. It could be Some people have a sugar addiction, and they are eating too much, and it's causing problems with their heart and cholesterol and all that sort of stuff. Or it could be as great as a drinking too much. Lord knows, I'll raise my hand on that one. I'm from New Orleans, got my first ID out of 17 magazine when I was 14 years old, and it worked in all the bars just fine. So I know all about that. I definitely do not turn a nose up to anybody that drinks too much. I was one of those people, and I'm not anymore, but I know all about it, big time. So love yourself enough. We're going to jump into commercials. This is Monique Guild at the MoniqueGuildRadioShow.com here on WGSO 990 AM, and we'll be back in a bit.
This is Monique Guild, host of the Monique Guild Method. I will be taking callers Wednesdays at noon on WGSO 990 AM, and I want to help you unblock your business issues, turn around, and develop what's next.
Radio show here at WGSO 990 AM, and I'm Monique Guild, your host, and we're talking about that spark of madness that we all have inside of us, that childlike quality of adventure. And I was saying here before the break, as a result of that knocking from your soul, your inside self, it's pushing you to heal whatever you need to heal, those distractions, and step into the full expression of who you are. And I'm asking you to love yourself more than any distraction. Some like tumultuous work situations, relationships that are not supportive. Some people are distracted because they isolate themselves and they keep themselves from people, and they're afraid to get out there and all that sort of stuff, or financial worries and all the different things that put a lid on our light. And I'll tell you, look, I'm coming from a place of, I've had so many no matter what's in my life, and I've been willing to keep going no matter what over the years. I'm going to share some of them with you, just so you realize I am not talking from a place of not having some experiences in my life. So I was a blackout drinker for the get-go. That's just how I drank. I was severely, severely ill for 15 years, and as of 2 years ago, I'm completely great, fine. And I was exposed to something that people think is crazy, toxic mold, but I happen to be allergic to the spores, and that's what made me so sick. Some people are allergic to it, some people aren't. Some people are allergic to peanut stuff, and some people aren't. It's just what it is. And my boyfriend was murdered. My best friend committed suicide. I've had, great success in many areas, but I've also had so many no matter whats. Great relationships, terrible relationships. I mean, I could go on and on. We've all had the highs and the low lows. Standing in my power, not standing in my power. Taking care of my mom who had dementia, to thinking, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? Am I crazy that I've taken on such a responsibility? I mean, there's been so many things where I've had to keep marching and had to keep going no matter what. Because let me tell you, I was not one of these people that had a person to pick them up and say, here, let me help you, let me show you, let me guide you. How can we support you into becoming who, your inside self is guiding you to be? I'm definitely not one of those people that had that type of support, and I'm definitely one of those people who have had so many experiences, dealing with FBI, CIA, all kind of stuff when I was 10, 11 years old, having to turn my stepfather in. I mean, I could go on and on, testifying against my mom. So I'm not coming from a place and speaking to you from a place of not having gone through some things. There isn't anything that anyone can tell me, or for that matter, that I can see when I talk to somebody on the phone and they're coming to me and they need help in their businesses and turning their businesses around. There's nothing I am surprised by. I don't have any judgment on anything because Lord knows I've probably been through it. So it's so important that all that stuff you've been through and everything that's happened to you in your life, that you honor your inside self more than allowing your history to keep you stuck in the past. I'm asking you to honor who your inside self is more than those distractions. And what's going to happen, though, and this is where some people get kind of caught up, is you're going to get to heal whatever those distractions and all that chaos caused inside of you. You're going to get to heal that, and that transformation that will take place inside of you as a result of taking a look at whatever got you stuck. That transformation is going to somehow impact either people around you, your community, your state, your world, and the world at large. It's amazing how nothing gets wasted. But we have to be willing to go deep and look at that stuff, and at the exact same time, honor that still small voice inside of you. You get to do that because it's going to be that still small voice, that spark of madness that you have inside of you that is going to keep pulling you forward through all the stuff you've been through as you're going through like a transformational process. And it's so important. It's not just about hearing that spark of madness and honoring it, but it's about stepping into changing whatever, healing whatever is stopping you from moving forward in it. But you want to hear that voice, because that voice, when you grab a hold of it, it's going to be what carries you to the next step. I don't know why I'm feeling emotional about saying that, but it's true. Is that voice inside of you that is going to keep you marching forward. And you grab a hold of that, I promise you, it will take you places you cannot even begin to imagine. It'll be the greatest high, greater than any high you could ever get from anything else. It'll take you places beyond your wildest dreams. This I know for sure, and through tremendous amounts of experience. So how did I keep going and continue to expand? I stayed close. I sought outside help if I needed to. And I stuck with people who had been through what I was going through. And it was important for me to seek out others who had been through. When my boyfriend was murdered many, many years ago, there were not that many people I could go to and talk to and say, how the hell do I get through something like this? And I had to go with his sister to the police station, identify his car, and all kind of stuff. And I couldn't go, and I couldn't, let's put it this way, go to the bank and get milk from the bank. I had to go to the bank where the money is to get money out, so to speak. Don't go to people who have not walked in those shoes. That is going to be my advice. Not everybody, they haven't been there. If they have not been through the experience, there's no way, as far as I'm concerned, in my beliefs, they can help you get through it. I had to talk to people who had been through something like that. And the people, one guy I talked to and who'd been through, he was a Detroit detective. His name was Mike Graham. He had been through something like that. And one of my best friends, Patsy Pease, who had been through unbelievable things as a child. Many of you may know who she is. She was on Days of Our Lives for many, many years, 14 years, Kimberly. She's like a sister to me, and she pulled me through so much stuff. But if you read about her, you'll see that she had been through her own hell as a child. And so I went to people who could help me get through and onto the other side. So I sought out those people who could help me. And they were few and far between. If you just got one other person you can talk to, it's gold. So, and then I found a dream and a vision for my life, and I didn't quit. No matter how much I wanted to quit, and let me tell you, there's a lot of times I wanted to quit. I'm like, are you serious? Like 15 years of dealing with this crap, and I'm still not getting well? And I wanted to quit so many times, but I didn't. For whatever reason, I didn't, because I have a burning desire that's greater, or I don't know, maybe it's just Norwegian tenacity and stubbornness. I don't know what it is, but there's something inside of me that keeps me going. and reaching for greater more. I'd rather get my high by stepping into the unknown and being scared out of my mind and keep moving forward into the unknown than, to me, being stuck is death. I just can't do it. I'm not made that way. So I know that each and every one of you has a purpose, and it is your responsibility to find out what your purpose is and to get busy doing it. You have a responsibility to yourself and to the world, because I believe that that purpose was instilled in you somehow, and the things that you have had to overcome in your life were given to you too, because that purpose that you have is, and then what you've overcome, they're going to somehow go hand in hand together, and you're going to help so many people who could never relate to anybody, and you're going to be that one person that person can relate to, and they're going to come to you and talk to you, and you're going to tell them how you stuck it out. You started, taking action, whether you love building cars or you love horses, whatever it is you love to do, your passion, that you got a hold of that and you healed what needed to be healed and you didn't give up. That's the whole key. It's so important to live our lives out loud and fully. It is so important to honor that and to fall in love, laugh, have a blast, fall out of love. We're going to go back to a commercial break here, but come join me back here at the Monique Guiled Method radio show at WGSO 990 AM, and we're going to pick this back up where we left off, and call us here, 504-556-9696.
This is Monique Guiled, host of the Monique Guiled Method. I will be taking callers Wednesdays at noon on WGSO 990 AM, and I want to help you unblock your business issues, turn around, and develop what's next.
The Monique Guiled Method radio show here. And over this last hour, we have been speaking about this quote that I love from Robin Williams. And it says, never lose that childlike quality of adventure. You're only given a little spark of madness. You mustn't lose it. And it's so important to honor that. And if you've ever asked yourself the questions, how far can my business go? What are my true strengths? What should I really be doing in my career? Why do I feel so stuck? What next step? Well, the show here is the show that addresses these questions. I love to help you get answers to these questions. You can also go to my website, Monique Guiled, Guild, like guild.com. And in the upper right corner of the website, there are free downloadable audio gifts there for you. In hearing how some of my clients, I'm one audio there, it's a 2-hour audio, and I'm talking to 3 different clients individually, and where they started and why they were so stuck and what was going on with them, and then how they applied the tools that I teach into turning their businesses around. And so you'll learn a lot of tools there and a lot of things to help you move forward. And I think there's 3 downloadables. And there's also a newsletter you can sign up to also that I send out weekly in helping you move forward and really identify how your intuition is speaking to you. Is it through, do you get signs, like literal signs in the universe, say go right or go left, or, I always like to read the back of, license plates. I think sometimes I'm getting messages. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Or people get guidance to their dreams or through journaling or through meditation. How does your intuition speak to you? Is it a gut feeling? Start to identify how you are being guided and then how to tap into when you need that guidance. Like for me, I meditate, I journal, I do this every day, and if I feel like I'm getting off track during the day, I stop, I get quiet, I meditate for a while until I feel like, and I always say, it's like, okay, God, give me my marching orders for today, or what are my next steps that I need to take, and I get quiet until I hear what that next step is. So it's important to really begin to honor just call it your gut. You can call it your intuition, call it whatever you want, but your gut instincts. How are you hearing that? But also that coupled with that burning desire, that childlike quality that you had as a kid, that little spark of genius, madness that you have, that people may think you're kooky crazy for wanting to create whatever it is that you want to create. Look at what they thought about Elon Musk and how silly he was with this whole thing. And he used all of his money from PayPal that he got and invested his own money, which everybody says that's always the biggest no, never invest your own money. And he did it. And, he's transforming the world, literally transforming the world. So you never know that spark of madness inside of you, where it's going to take you. And if you're willing to grab a hold and heal any distractions or get rid of or cut off or whatever you need to do to stop those distractions, or just stop picking up the newspaper and reading all the bad news. There's nothing, when I go on MSN and I look at my homepage on my phone on MSN, there's nothing but bad stuff I'm reading. It's just it's constant negative bombardment. And I don't know if you guys saw the documentary, I think it's Social Dilemma or something like that. And it just talks about how so many of these things are taking over our brains. And I refuse to let anybody take over my brain. I've been through too much, and I'm be damned if I'm going to let somebody else control what I'm doing, saying, speaking, and thinking, and also distracting me from my own life. Like, who are you to distract me from my life? But if I give them permission to, so who's really at fault? So I really have to always take a check. When I'm blaming somebody else for what's going on in my life, what's that? I don't know if you've ever heard that saying, you've got one finger pointing at somebody else, blaming them, saying they've done this, they've done that. You've got three pointing back at yourself. And the moment I'm willing to go, okay, what did I do to cause this? What did I do to cause this distraction? Or what actions am I willingly getting into that are completely derailing me from where I say I want to be? Or if you don't know where you want to go, from even hearing that inside self voice, because I promise you there is something there that talks to you that is gnawing at you. I also say it's your soul knocking from the inside out, knocking, saying, hey, what about XYZ that you said you wanted to do when you were 10 years old? You always had a passion for, your art, or I don't know why fixing cars keeps coming up, but, building cars or building a certain machine or inventing something, to really begin to start to honor that, and stick with people. If you've got distractions in your life and they're pretty heavy duty, go to people or go get help from people who have actually walked in those shoes. Go to people that have actually been in those shoes and have come out of it, and ask how they did it. I always, ever since I was a child, I had to seek other people to help guide me to my next step. And it wasn't about a monetary thing. I mean, my family had money, and people that saved my life and took me in 5th and 6th grade, they were on welfare, and they fed us. They fed my sister and I. They took care of us. So it's not about, go where the love is. Just go where the love is. Go where the support is. Go where you are literally being nurtured from your insides out. It's not about the outsides. You can have all the outside material gain in the world and feel so empty inside. And it's same with other people that have all whatever, and they feel so empty inside. And it's going where the love is, the joy is, the laughter is. That's where the gold is, really. It's about that, finding that in other people as well as finding it within yourself. How can you, again, connect to that side of you that loves to laugh and play and have fun, and that dreams and loves to invent and create. What do you need to do today to connect in with that self? I believe and I know that there's something there in the world, in the universe, in the galaxies that really does have our back and will kick ass for us if somebody messes with us, if we are willing to step up and at least take the first few steps. I know that as a child I was very protected, and as an adult I've been very protected, and I was also willing to keep marching forward no matter what was happening around me, no matter what the circumstances have been. So if you're more than welcome to sign up for my newsletters, of course, at MoniqueGuild.com, MoniqueGuild.com. You're also more than welcome to call the office, 310-614-0946. And we're going to be here next week, Wednesday at noon. And you're more than welcome to call and talk to me if you have any business questions or anything that I can help you with. And, the one song, I love music. I love music. And the one song I really love, and I don't know if you've ever listened to the lyrics of Eminem's song, You've Got One Shot, Lose Yourself. And if you download those lyrics and you just really read the lyrics, you may or may not like his music, but the lyrics are so powerful. And it's important. We've got this life. We're here. And I'm not going to, Lord knows I've been a part of it and have my own distractions and things like that, but I do the best I can to heal whatever needs to be healed, so those distractions that I can control stop. And then also, too, just in disengaging from all the negative media, because I cannot control that. My mom always said to me, she said it in French, but basically it meant to always plant your own garden and weed take care of your own garden and nourish your own garden. What garden do you have today that you need to water, or maybe you need to plant some seeds, or maybe you just need to even go to the store and get some mud and get some seeds. So thank you so much for joining me today for the Monique Guild Method radio show. This is Monique Guild. I hope you guys have a super fantastic week, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you next week.